But you started at the age of 7 in South Africa, right? Subbing in your uncle's band, and you haven't stopped since. Is that right?
Yes, yes. I was always saying that when I do interviews, I started at the age of 7. But now, as I think about it, I think I started when I was in my mom's belly
Ah.
because my father was a musician. I never met him.
Oh.
But as I was growing up, and then my uncle was in the picture because, my mom's brother played saxophone. So he kind of really walked me through to everything because he was playing every weekend. And every weekend, I always look forward to be home so I can see him and his friends and playing. They come to my grandmother's house
Yeah.
and jam. And I just kind of love that. But even though the country was on fire because there was so much stuff, and as a baby, I mean, I didn't really understand. But as I'm growing, until I was about probably 10, 11, 12, then I started to feel the energy of what was going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I said to myself, don't lose focus. Just focus on the music that, you want to play music. It doesn't matter what you play, even if I play like a one string guitar or, like something, stay with it.
Yeah.
And for me, that was like the key of everything. But everything it started really at home. Seeing all these traditional people every weekend, they dress up and they singing the language and chanting, or sometimes they hit like the African drums. Some churches they play the drums.
Yeah.
For me, it was like enough rhythm to put it in my heart and just love that because really music it starts with love. If you don't love, you want to do it because you just it shows. But
It shows. Yeah. Yeah.
for me it was about to love this, and then the rest work hard for it.
Yeah.
And so I started with the traditional, and I hear they're singing, and for me it was a lot of bass that they were singing that I could pick it up. And by the age of 12, I was now hitting the cities, the studios, recording with some traditional musicians from different part of South Africa, Lesotho and Zulus, and the producer knew me now, so they call me and I come and record with these people. And for me, it was not about money; it was about getting the loop,
Yeah.
and then eventually, and then you'll be a payoff,
Yeah. 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 Right. Right. Well,
and
yeah. Just
and then the fact that it's a journey, I'm learning as I'm recording this traditional South African music at the early age. That really set up my stuff for now. Now I go to the studio, I'm not intimidated, whether who I work with or for. I'm not intimidated because I'm used to the studio and I know my sound that I developed since I was 12, 13, 14 as I'm, going up. So I just stay with it and stay with in the studio, you perform and not waste time for other people. Sometimes sessions, it's like you come in, other people they want to come in and get out.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Right.
cannot be like struggling with a song and everything. So I just trained myself that stuff without going to school. And until the 80s, the big break, then that was a big challenge also. But I was ready for it.
Yeah. Right. And we'll. I want to get to your big break, but I do. This is fascinating to me. So you really grew up. I mean, music was in your blood and in your bones, like you said, from before you were born. But you really did this and spent a lot of time in the just playing in the studio, out of the studio. Listening to you play, your style is your own. I am hesitant to use the word unique too often. However, I think it applies to you. And it's understandable why, because you've got these, there's clearly the South African influences in your playing, but there's also Western music influences in your playing. I mean, I hear a lot of Motown and soul music, and I hear one of my favorite musicians in the world. I hear Jocko in your playing a little bit. I hear all that stuff.